There's a lot of other coins that I want to talk about too. If you move over to DexScreener, unless anyone has any thoughts on ETH that you wanted to spit out.
No, I think ETH is dope, of course, bullish on ETH, but really excited about what's happening on the L2s, especially with the ETH fees being so high. You know, they're still high. They've been saying they're going to come down for years. So L2s are really taking the spotlight, I think, where a lot of trading is going down, meme coins are going down, and that's been a major change that happened in the last year or so.
All right, let's get into the juicy stuff here. I believe these are our 4 biggest altcoin holdings now. Clap it up for these right here. It's so outside of Ethereum and our ETH, which is our preferred staking venue for Ethereum, we have 4 big altcoin plays, and we can talk about them. First one is Aerodrome, and first off, shouts out to DexScreener, one of the best tools on the internet. If you're a weird crypto guy like us, you like watching the money, this is a free tool that you can do an incredible amount of things, including play with and learn about charts. So
we are not sponsored. We are not sponsored.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by anyone.
Not yet.
Yeah, not except for itslit.org. But we really just share tools that can help you guys, right? So I want to be clear about that. Like, all the tools that we're sharing are just the best free tools in the industry that we think can help make people some money and earn people some value. So of course, none of this is financial advice. This is all educational. Aerodrome is up first, right? We're seeing a big breakout right now, going upwards above this recent level, right? You want to look for where the previous highs were, right? So I'm seeing a big candle closing right below 105 where we just were. So that means we don't have much. I'm not seeing much resistance there until maybe 120 and then until after that, upwards of $2. You can also switch to market cap, Monty, if you want to just at the top right of the mini chart, click
And
market.
Mark, while Monty's doing that, can you just give a quick 1 sentence about what Aerodrome is?
Yeah, Aerodrome is the biggest revenue generating application on Base. Base is the layer 2 layer of Ethereum built by Coinbase. That is essentially the scalability layer on Ethereum. That's going to help Ethereum work a lot faster. And Aerodrome is generating so much revenue because it's a central liquidity hub, right? It's almost like, I don't want to say bank, but it's almost a combination of a DEX, a decentralized exchange, with some really interesting mechanics on incentivizing liquidity and LPing. And LPing, in this sense, is not for limited partners. It is for liquidity providers, which is really interesting. AERO is really focused on incentivizing a ton of liquidity and protocols to all, essentially use their platform and vote together. I know Dylan is very deep in the AERO world. Dylan, do you want to add anything about why you think AERO is so genius?
Yeah, I'm super bullish on AERO. AERO's a DeFi application, so it's not collateralized lending like we were just talking about, but it's definitely the biggest DeFi application on Coinbase's blockchain. And that says enough right there, that it's the biggest DeFi on Base. And I think it's genius how they've taken a traditional DEX like Uniswap and sort of built on top of that infrastructure to add a reward system with their AERO token. So I have over 80% of my AERO locked for 4 years, and I'm actually using that to get a yield in real time. So it pays out every week, something to look into. Great token, and highly recommend checking out the docs and getting some AERO.
Yeah, I read AERO's docs again as we put our fund a little bit more into it, and very well written. Shouts out to their team. Over to the right, we got Mr. MIGGLES, of course. If you don't know about Mr. MIGGLES, you must be under a rock. This is also a pretty low coin. You could see 33 mil market cap. It's important, if you guys don't know, you should be looking at market caps, not prices. That's a rookie mistake. That's essentially the total amount of money that the project is worth. MIGGLES speaks for itself. We'll just watch that one fly into blue skies.
So I have a question for you, Mark. 33 million right now. We were talking about it earlier this week when I was at 20 million. This is obviously a pretty new meme coin, sub 50 million, so it's early enough. Like, how the fuck do you find this?
Digging under deep rocks. You know, I get one dedicated day a week where I get to ignore everyone in the world and do nothing but research. And that's just lifting up rocks and finding random crazy discoveries. I think this one came across. It's always some dumb thing. Like you're on TikTok and someone says, "Is Mr. Miggles the next big coin at a base?" And you know, sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's using all these different tools like flues we went over before. Looking at gainers, losers on CoinGecko. I mean, it's really just being curious, finding rabbit holes, and then once you see some things that connect, like you know, when I saw that Coinbase essentially made a YouTube video about Mr. Miggles on their own sponsored, you know, their official YouTube. This is the same Coinbase that is putting out Super Bowl commercials, getting, you know, tens of millions of views, yet at the same time, on certain videos, they only have a couple hundred views. And to me, that's just a huge discrepancy, a huge like attention arbitrage. I think it doesn't make sense that no one is really focused on this yet. So yeah, the answer would really just be turning under rocks and then knowing what to go with.
Well, it's so interesting, and I just want to add something really quickly on culture. Obviously, meme culture is such a big part of the crypto and digital asset world, and one of the big questions always comes to mind of how do you value a meme coin or a joke, really? Yeah. And I love what you said, Mark, about attention arbitrage. And when you look at something like Mr. Miggles, which has a $33.56 million market cap and is a meme, what we're looking for is this something that is going to be talked about in the future? And I think the fact that you pointed out things like Coinbase is behind it, and Coinbase values it and already made a commercial about it. And once people start to move into the Base ecosystem, will this have a reaction like other meme coins have had? Whether you look at the Solana meme coins or Dogecoin is the original and probably GOAT or OG more accurately. So it's really interesting, and I like what you picked here with Miggles. Obviously, with Base has other meme coins, so we'll keep an eye on what all that looks like moving forward.
Yeah, speaking of under a rock, how about BSWAP popping out from under a rock?
Yeah, BSWAP is growing crazy. Last thing on Miggles too, I mean, if you got to compare it to other memes, right? Like I know you can go on CoinGecko and sort by memes, right, of the industry. When you see things like, you know, Dogecoin at $17 billion market cap, right? Or you see things like WIF, you know, these other coins who are at hundreds of millions of dollars, even, you know, Brett on Base being 100 times larger than some of these ideas, yet we have actual Coinbase backing one. It's like, to me, it's a no-brainer. Of course, it is a meme, right? There's much less fundamentals there, and you have to adjust your risk. We're not risking nearly the same amount that we're risking into other bigger fundamental plays like optimism and ETH. But anyways, let's talk about BSWAP, which is another one shooting up from under a rock. I mean, the chart on this weekly looks very nice. Like either the devs died or it's about to pump. I think that BSWAP is, you know, the second. I believe it actually might be the third now after Alien Base, but it's one of the basically top 3 dexes, native dexes on Base. That's not like a Uniswap or PancakeSwap carried over. Aerodrome is the first, which is at around a $1 billion market cap valuation, versus BSWAP is down at like a, you know, this chart is
a little higher than this.
Yeah, this might be just for this pool. But the BSWAP is maybe at about a 2 million valuation, right? Which is, you know, making next to no sense for me as well. I think if we pull up DeFi Llama over to the right, you can see on Base we have all of the applications on Base and what fees they're generating. And you can see here, right, one of the top ones is Aerodrome, right? At least for cumulative fees, we're at 48 million, right? And 5 million in the past 30 days. And then you scroll down to BSWAP, which is on the same list, which is at a cumulative of 1.9 million. Oh, you missed it. It's up more. It's up more. There, it's right about in the middle. So 2 million cumulative fees on this and about 50 million on Aerodrome. I mean, basic math would be, okay, that's a 25x. So then, this is just one comparison you could make. Of course, there's a lot of different factors, but all these factors start to line up, right? It's like, okay, well then maybe should Base be, 25? Should AERO be 25 times bigger than BSWAP, right? Well, it's not. It's like, a few hundred times bigger. So then either BSWAP is undervalued or AERO is overvalued. And as we already spent 5 minutes talking about, we think AERO is also undervalued. I just think there's huge, arbitrage here, like not in the traditional sense, but just many things on this brand new ecosystem, I think are undervalued and not making, just crazily misvalued.
Yeah, I'm bullish on BaseSwap too. I think they have a solid team. They've been delivering, improving the platform, and the token has some interesting tokenomics for sure. I have BaseSwap locked up too, and I'm staking and yield farming on there. So another good DeFi app to check out. So did you want to talk about the OP chart before we move the next?
Yeah, Monty asked that he's actually
do you want to go on DexScreener?
He's an anti-LP. He's a Polygon maxi, so he didn't want us to talk about LP at all.